Hello and welcome, fellow bookworms and film fans. Welcome to this week's episode of Contented Narrative, where we'll be doing a book review, and it is After the Crash by Michel Bussi. Now, this book was very sort of exciting because essentially what it is the main girl has two identities. So there's a plane crash and it kills, unfortunately, pretty much everyone dies in this plane crash. It's very horrific, hence the name After the Crash. But what happens is there's one sole survivor, and it's a newborn baby. Now there's two families that had a baby traveling back on the plane at that same time. So both of the families are kind of fighting over whose baby it is, basically. And one family gets to keep it until she turns 18, and then she can find out the truth. And honestly, it is just so amazing. It's like chilling at points as well, and because you're swept along in this story, and so she's either Lise Rose or Emily. And you're swept along with this story, and she's trying to figure out who she is. And she's got a brother who might not be her brother, because obviously if she's one, then the brother's not hers, but if she's the other, then the brother is hers. But then she's also got a sister as well with the other family. Again, is the sister hers or not hers? And it's just the fact that the detective who was like hired all those years ago when it first came out to find out what had happened with her, he is sort of dealing with it. He never gave up, even though he stopped getting paid. And it just keeps you on the edge of your seat. It really does. I bought this book ages ago. This book has been with me through several houses. And it's honestly, I've reread this book several times, and I don't tend to reread books just to find out something new. I tend to reread books just to enjoy it. And it just gets more enjoyable with each reread, and that's why it's managed to, every time I sort of like go through and I cull my books and I'm like, will I read it again? Will I not read it again? And I cull it and I'm like, no, I probably won't touch it. But then this one always gets through every single time I cull my books. And it is just honestly such a remarkable book, because I'm used to reading sort of like horror and thriller and murder mystery and all of that. But this book is more about the personalities of the people within it. It's the fact that you've got this poor child that for years was told she was one person, and then it could turn actually somebody else. And when you finally get to the end and she figures out who she actually is, it's just so satisfying that you sat there going, yes. And you'll have your idea of who you think she is while you go through the book. And I didn't get who she was. I honestly was completely wrong. I thought she was one, and I was wrong about it. And I'll happily admit that I'm wrong. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not perfect, contrary to popular opinion. But it's worth the read, because the way the characters are written, the way they interact with each other, the fact that, you know, you really do feel for these people, because when you get down to it as well, these two families, you know, with the grandparents rather than the parents, are mourning the loss of their child and their grandchild. Both of the families are. And both of them came to an agreement as to who the baby would be. And then sort of like was like, but when they turn 18, we can you know, and they try and figure out what the truth is and everything like that. And it's just, and you see all the human elements, and you see how it affects people over the years, and you see that, you know, it's an identity isn't who raised you or a surname that you share. An identity is who you feel you are. And it's so artistically done in a way that it doesn't feel like it's like rubbing your face in the fact that you can be whoever you want to be. It's more that if you are raised by one family but you find out you belong to another, or vice versa, you know, it's who you choose to let into your life. And they always say, you know, you can choose your friends but you can't choose your family. And this book is very unique because she has two families. And I would 100%, After the Crash, I would 100% recommend this book, because it is really good. And as I said, it's not a thriller like that. It's not, but it gets you on the edge of your seat, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. Obviously, if you do enjoy this book, if you go out and buy it and you read it and you really do enjoy it, even if you don't enjoy it, please leave it below in the comments. I love hearing about people who have enjoyed books that I've recommended. Thank you for all the continued support, guys. And remember to always keep it contento.